I have said that I am an inexperienced gamer and that I am fresh to this hobby, but I've also been gaming for my entire life, so I kind of wanted to explain that. Because despite being 24, I haven't played that many games. Well, I'm almost 24. Or rounding. And with my lack of gaming experience, I can tell you every single player game that I've ever played. Before I tell you about all the games that I've played, I wanted to talk about what actually intrigued me about gaming. Even as a kid, like what was it about the few games that I tried that stuck with me so much? I think partly it's because I love a challenge, I love a puzzle, I love strategy, management, making to-do lists, planning and organizing, and I do think video games do a great job at creating problems to solve and giving rewards when you do. I really like grinding and like working hard to get a rare item or to beat a level, but of course, like many people, it was also very much the escapism. I liked the puzzles, but perhaps more important is that games gave me a problem that I as a child could solve, which weren't like the problems that I was facing in real life. I felt very trapped as a kid, and I really just wanted to grow up so I could be independent. And now that I am grown up, let me tell you, I would never go back to being a kid. I love being an adult and being able to create and find safety and love for myself. I get to make my own actions, and it's my own actions that affect me, and I also get to choose who is in my life, who also affect me. And that was a privilege I didn't have as a kid. So I really turned to anything that, one, I could waste time on, and two, that could let me live a life that I felt like I had control over. I got to solve problems and be smart, and I really liked those things a lot, and I still do. Nowadays, I really love stories, I love art, I love music, and games combined those things in a way that other mediums can't, right? You don't just watch the story or the world happen, you interact with it, you live in it, and your choices can affect it, versus like a movie, which you're a little more passively experiencing the story. Although I do really love movies as well. I'm a huge movie fan. I also really like books. Like I said, I really love storytelling, I really love music, I really love art, and video games just do such a great job at combining those things. I also really love fantasy and like old-timey aesthetics and cute little guys like Kirby and Yoshi. Top tier little guys. And of course, I still enjoy a good puzzle. So let's get to the list of the games that I have played thus far in my life. Although I won't be including apps in this because I don't think anyone cares that I played Flappy Bird in the bathroom of my church when the sermon got really boring. For this video, I really want to talk about games that people review very highly, like the true classics that all the video essayers talk about. It's the highly praised single-player games that I really feel like I missed out on as a kid, and that's kind of what I'm talking about when I say I'm an inexperienced gamer. Yes, I have played Flappy Bird, but no, I have not played Red Dead Redemption, which is also why I don't want to name every single multiplayer game I've played, although I really haven't played too many, but do note I did play Webkins and Animal Jam as a kid, as well as Fortnite and Phasmophobia as an adult, and I will also not be including flash games like Papa's Pizzeria or Balloon Tower Defense or random fashion games that I played as a kid, although I'm sure Papa's Pizzeria is up there in storytelling. Okay, it's probably far better than The Witcher 3, but I mostly want to talk about games that aren't free to play, as money was the major restraint in me gaming so little. When we did have consoles or games, we often only had them for a little bit before I assume they got pawned off. It's why I don't have any consoles or any games from when I was a kid. Like physically, no one in my family has them or owns them. And my gaming history is sort of weird because I had games, but I also had 0 games. This was actually a pretty easy list for me to put together. So we're gonna start with pre-double digits, okay? So before I was 10 years old. My earliest memories of gaming was watching my older brothers play Return to Castle Wolfenstein. They were only a few years older than me, but I don't think I ever actually played myself. I have 0 memory of it, and I was very scared of the game, so I don't think I would have actually played it at all. I used to watch them play it before one of my brothers got like angry and they threw the disc and they broke it, sadly. I mostly remember us giggling a lot, especially at these like electrocuty men who didn't have legs, and we called them Aunt Mimis. I have no idea, but we used to just giggle and look at them, and I don't even know what. We were kids. And that's my one experience with remembering graphics being like crazy, ultra realistic and cool. And then I looked it up as an adult. I'm like, that's the game I was playing? Yikes. I also remember watching my older brothers play Minecraft, but I don't remember when I started playing it myself, but I'm just going to include it here. I'm going to have a little game counter list, and I must have played it at this age. So this will be the first game that I remember playing, and I remember my thoughts and my goals and stuff like that while I was playing Minecraft as a kid. I really loved to build my own stories in Minecraft. I would build towns, and I would write in like signs and stuff whose bedroom it was. This was before we had like books that you could write in, and I would create like entire stories and in villages and stuff like that. I also played Halo with my brothers and Call of Duty Zombies. All I wanted to do in Halo though was to build a house. This was in the like sandbox build mode that Halo 4 had, I think. But every time I built a house, my brothers would explode it. I probably watched them play the campaign or maybe some multiplayer, but I don't really remember playing it myself. I also don't remember the story at all, but I'll still be including it. And I really hated Call of Duty Zombies, but I really just wanted to be included. I got a 3DS for Christmas when I was about 9 years old. I only had Mario Kart 7, and I remember my dad was like, let me see that. And he literally like beat all the levels. I think there was characters you could unlock or something, and he like unlocked everything for me because I don't know, I guess he really wanted to play the game. But I only had the DS for a very short period of time. It might have only been like a month before somebody stole it from school. Basically, my brother had an extracurricular activity after school, and my mom didn't want to have to drive to school to pick me up and then back to school to pick him up, right? So she didn't want to do the 2 trips. So I just stayed after school and waited around until he was finished. And I thought, I don't want to be staring at the wall doing nothing. Let me bring my 3DS. Well, somebody stole it from me from right under my little nose, and I was completely devastated. I also played Roller Coaster Tycoon at my aunt's house. I have memories of being sick and getting to play on her living room computer, and that is all I remember from when I was a kid. Those are all the games I remember playing. I won't be including Castle Wolfenstein in the game counter because, like I said, I am 99% sure I did not play that game. I have zero memory of playing that game. I only watched my brothers play it, and I don't think that counts. And if you do, then you can call me a liar and a dumb idiot. That's fine with me. But that means our game counter is at 5 total games so far. And now we're gonna get to the preteen/early teen years. I played The Sims 3 on my older sister's laptop a lot, and I don't remember when we got a Wii, but we did have one for a bit. We had the fitness game and a Lego Indiana Jones game. I also played Mario Kart, of course, but that's all I remember playing. I really liked the Lego Indiana Jones game. It is a phenomenal game, although I tried playing it on Steam. The controls were wonky donkey. I could not do it. I don't know if it was a Steam problem or a me thing, I don't know. But I also just really liked Indiana Jones in general as a kid. Me and my brothers would watch it together. We were sort of like a little trio before they went through puberty and were like, we're too cool for you. But the oldest of us would always conveniently have to pee during the scary parts. Specifically, I remember that scene where like the guy takes the other guy's like heart out. I think that scene was also my first experience with body horror, and I found it really interesting even as a kid. Also, the scene in the last Indiana Jones movie, I believe, is when that guy gets eaten by those ants. I thought that scene was so cool as a kid. It was freaky but cool. I've always loved special effects and weird freaky things in movies. I actually loved movies so much even as a kid that I would start like genuinely vibrating, like shaking, because I'd be so impacted by like the story and the music. But I'm also a huge scaredy cat. Like I always have been, probably always will be. I have screamed in my sleep from having nightmares. It's definitely less bad as an adult, the nightmares that is, but I hated horror as a kid because I hated jump scares, and to this day I still hate jump scares. I often feel like I can't enjoy movies unless I've watched them previously if they rely on a lot of jump scares. Sorry, Obsession, but I'm low-key looking at you. I especially hate cheap jump scares. Those are the things that really bother me. When it's just like a random loud noise, like sometimes it's not even, it's for nothing. Like the ones where someone like grabs somebody else like from behind that is like your best friend Joe, and Joe's like, hey, what's up? But like it had to play the loudest sound effect in your ear when Joe grabbed the other main character's like shoulder. Those ones are like super annoying, in my opinion. But the ones I really hate are when it's literally nothing. Like it's nothing, and there's just the loudest noise in the history of the world. hello, why are we doing that? But that's me personally. It's a subjective opinion. I understand if other people really like jump scares, and I can still enjoy a movie if it's jump scares focused, if I just rewatch it, because then I kind of know what to expect, and I'm not just like on edge and like hiding the whole time. Point being, I think Indiana Jones was my first experience with like cool special effects, weird, freaky scenes in movies that I really enjoyed as a kid. I liked those scenes. I thought they were really fun and interesting. But side tangent over, our game counter is now at 9. And in my teen years, I played a lot of Minecraft. I played so much Minecraft, sometimes The Sims 3, but mostly I played Minecraft. I was in an SMP for a while, and I met some really good friends there, and then we all played Bed Wars together as well, a lot, for many years. That was like the game I was playing for hours and hours on end. So much of my life back then was spent on Discord playing Minecraft. We did get a family Switch for Christmas one year. I had been asking my parents for years, actually. I wrote it on my Christmas list like every year. I think I still have one of the blurbs that I wrote, so I'll show that. And I was like trying to sell them like a little car salesman as a teenager, like, family fun, get the Switch. It was introduced as a family gift, but my parents let me open it because I was the one that was like, please, please, begging on my hands and knees. And I genuinely started crying when I opened it. We had 3 games in total that we had collected on that system. That was Mario Kart, Just Dance, and Animal Crossing. To be honest though, I didn't play a lot. I really didn't like playing in the living room because I really didn't like being around certain family members. And I was a very like just and right kid. And I had created the rule in the family that nobody could take the Switch out of the living room. Like, it had to stay in the living room, don't take it to your bedroom. And I wasn't gonna break any rules. I was a goody two shoes, okay? Even if I set the rules, I was not above them. And sure enough, after I moved out, like very soon after, the Switch got cracked. So I'm not saying I was right, but I also didn't really feel like it was mine since we all shared, so it wasn't mine. So on like Animal Crossing, for example, we all had the same island, and I really didn't want that to be my first experience with Animal Crossing. I really wanted to play it on my own, to enjoy it to its fullest. I didn't want to get like maybe a sour taste in my mouth or to get like bored of the game before I ever actually got to really experience it. I just really wanted it to be my own. I think I did the tutorial and maybe just a little bit more, but honestly, that's it. I did play a lot of Just Dance at Thanksgiving though. I was dancing down. Okay, my family members were getting a show. It was also kind of difficult because I have a lot of younger siblings, and if I wanted to like play Mario Kart or something like that, they obviously wanted to be included, but you can only have so many people playing at once, and I had more siblings and we had slots available to play, together on the TV, and it just often ended in a fight. So I think I just kind of gave up on enjoying the Switch. I also had a couple hand-me-down laptops or crappy computers. I had one from like 2008 for a lot of my later teen years. They very often broke, or they couldn't run like anything on them. But I did play this game called Dead in Bermuda as a teenager. I have no idea how this game got in my Origin library, but I'm so grateful it did. It was the first ever game that I've ever played through and completed. The first game that I ever ran credits on, and I love it so much. It's a shorter game, only about 10 hours, but it's so great. It's this like point and click survival management game, and I love it. I love this whole series so much. Oh, they're all such great games in my opinion. So that makes our games counter at 13 and our games finished now at 1. And I bet many of you could add up all of the games that you played from when you were a kid to the end of your teen years, and it would be far more than 13. And also remember, I wasn't playing these games for hundreds of hours. I was maybe putting in 10 hours at most, except Minecraft and The Sims 3. Those are the only 2 games that I have played for hundreds of hours at this point when I was a teenager. In my adult years is when things really get started. I moved out of my parents' house, thank God, and I got a job with real adult money that I could buy whatever I wanted. I was still pretty broke despite working 2 basically full-time jobs, so I couldn't indulge in everything that I wanted. But with saving and using rewards points or coupons whenever I could, I was able to buy my Switch OLED when I was 20 years old. The Switch means so much to me because it was the first console that I owned. It was mine. And with the Switch, I bought Super Mario Bros., Mario Party Superstars, Breath of the Wild, and Animal Crossing. Those were the 4 games that I played for many years, so since I was about 20 and I'm almost 24. I bought Mario Party and Mario Bros to play with my younger siblings, but I haven't really ever done that very much. To be honest, I've only played both of those games a handful of times, mostly because no one wants to play with me. Okay, I love Mario Party, but I can't get people to want to support the digital board game. I think it's great. I think it's fun. Okay, steal my stars. Let's have a fun competition. But it's either that people don't want to play it, or I have to purposefully lose because I have played with people who are a little bit of sore sports. I need to find somebody who will be my Mario Party partner, and we can have a real competition and we can fight to the death. But I did play a lot of Animal Crossing and Breath of the Wild. I haven't completed Breath of the Wild yet. I've done all the shrines, at least in the base game, because I don't have the DLC. But I remember fighting Ganon, but I don't think I finished it because there's not like a star beside my game save, and I thought that's what somebody said you have to show that you completed Ganon. I'm not really sure. I'm a little confused by all that, but I do have 200 hours in Breath of the Wild, and I love that game so very much. I actually did play it when I was 14. The reason why I was begging for a Switch was because I played it at a friend's house for about 30 minutes, and I was completely in love. And it only took me 6 years after that experience, that 30 minutes experience, that I knew I needed to play more, and then I was finally able to buy the console and the game for myself and actually do that. One of the reasons I love Breath of the Wild so much is I have this distinct memory of the moment I realized you could break ore with like sledgehammers and you don't have to use bombs. The way that I played basically was the first big boss with the elephant. I went there and I got my butt kicked, so I'm like, I need to get myself upgraded. So before I went back to complete the elephant again, I did all of the shrines. I leveled everything up that I possibly could. I got a bunch of great armor. I upgraded them with the fairies. Then I did the elephant boss and I destroyed her. I wiped the floor with that boss. So then I moved on to the Goron City boss. And there, when I was in Goron City, I realized they be using the sledgehammers to break the ore. The whole time I had been using my bombs. I don't know why I got the idea to use the bombs, but I did. And it was very difficult because you put a bomb down on a cliff, it blows you up too, and you go flying. So I had to position myself really carefully, and then the actual ore would blow up off the cliff. It was a disaster, but I just thought this is how you're supposed to mine, I guess. But I just love how you can do things your own way. There are so many shrines and quests that can be completed in more than one way. I just think that's so cool that the game rewards creativity, and the art style is incredible, and the music as well. I like the story too, but not the main reason I like it personally. I also have 300 hours in Animal Crossing New Horizons. I really, really loved this game. I used to play it every single day, and sometimes I still do for a week or two. I'll log on every day. It's so cozy, so comfy. I really like it. I also completed and played through a game called Moonlighter. I played this on my Switch, and I personally like the game a lot. It's this dungeon crawler game, also with shop management gameplay. I thought it was really fun. Like I said, I completed it. I also completed the DLC, but nobody really talks about it. I don't know why. I did have Nintendo Online. I had the family one because me and my brother, we were living very far, and we only got to see each other once or twice a year, and I was missing him. So he had a Switch, so I bought the family online subscription, and then we could both play games together. We ended up playing a lot of Mario Party 1 and 2. We especially were obsessed with number 2 because you get little outfits, and it's so cute. I love that game. I remember one night I was trying to find us more games to play, and I stumbled upon Banjo and Kazooie, and I'm like, I wonder if this game is multiplayer. And we sort of just giggled at how scary and horrifying the game was, and then immediately turned it off. And then I thought, Ocarina of Time, that sounds kind of cool, and I started playing that a little bit, but I got super stuck because I was I didn't know how to buy the shield. It just wasn't intuitive in my brain that I had to break into people's houses and start smashing their belongings to find money. So I was just kind of roaming around for a few minutes, and then promptly we just went back to Mario Party. I just wanted to share those stories because I think they're funny, but obviously I'm not including them in the games that I've played because I was not even playing. It was literally just goofing off for 1 minute. So the game counter is now at 19, and the games I've completed is now at 2. And I also got my gaming laptop when I was 20. So here are the games that I completed on Steam with my gaming laptop. Number 1, Lego Lord of the Rings, and number 2, I believe 3 seasons of the Telltale Walking Dead series. I also played a ton of Stardew Valley on my gaming laptop. I also played it on my iPad before I got a gaming laptop, and I also played on my Switch when I got a Switch. I love Stardew Valley so much. I've bought the game 6 times, 3 times for myself, 3 times for my friends, so someone will play with me. And I also played Shadow of War for 15 hours, but I couldn't get the hang of it, so I just DNF'd it. Which leaves us now, our game counter is at 23, and games completed are at 6, 3 of which were the Telltale Walking Dead games. And that's it. So pre-2026, those are the games that I played. And that's why I say that I'm newish to the hobby of gaming. Yes, I gamed as a kid and as a teenager, but it wasn't until I was an adult that I really started to get into games. And even then, it wasn't until last year, around October, when I bought my gaming PC, that I really got into gaming. Once I started making enough money that I could not only buy a system that could play more games, but also buy the games themselves. And I have worked multiple jobs at once, so time was very limited for some of my adult years. But now I have a lot more financial security and a lot more time on my hands. So to compare it all, I want to quickly see how many games I tried and completed in the big year of 2026 to compare to the rest of my life pre this year. So here are the games that I tried but didn't complete. Crimson Desert, Death Stranding, Fae Farm, Grand Theft Auto 3, Resident Evil 7, Parkasaurus, Paralives, Forza Horizon 6, Jurassic Park Evolution 3, Dice A Million, Balatro, Ocarina of Time. I think those are all the games. I'm probably forgetting 1 or 2. Hopefully not. And here are the completed games of 2026. Tamagotchi Life, Living the Dream, Pocopia, Dead in Vinland, Dead in Antares, Esoteric Ebb, Fantasy Life for the DS, as well as Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, Final Prophet, Inconbini, Lemon Cake, and Is This Seat Taken? Which means that in 2026, I have played 23 new games and I have completed 11, compared to pre-2026, which I played 23 games and completed 6. But yes, that's why I say that this hobby is new to me in a way. I really started getting serious about the hobby about a year ago, like I said, around October when I got my gaming PC. Is it a generalization? Yes, because I have been gaming my whole life, but it was really always coming and going. It was never consistent. And because of the lack of money, I might have had consoles, but I really didn't have very many game options at all. I never had the experience of renting games. But if we were to count multiplayer games, flash games, and apps, I'm sure that I would have played like 75 games before 2026. So in a way, it really is an oversimplification, but I still think it's kind of an important one for me to say, if that makes sense. Like, I really haven't played many highly rated games. I've never played a Fire Emblem game, or Cooking Mama, or a Fallout game, Elder Scrolls, Baldur's Gate, Silent Hill, God of War, The Last of Us, Mafia, Harvest Moon, Red Dead, Persona, Final Fantasy, Undertale, any of the Witcher games, Kingdom Hearts. The list could go on and on and on and on and on forever. And even though I have played a Halo game, I don't remember anything about the campaign. I don't remember anything about the story. The only thing I know about Halo is that Master Chief exists and there is that glowing purple dual knife thingy. So I hope everyone understands where I'm coming from and no one thinks that I'm a liar, pants on fire when I say that I'm newer to the hobby. I played games as a kid, but not for long, and not many at all. I really started as an adult, but I was far too broke to fully delve into gaming and game collecting. So it was pretty recent that I was finally able to start trying the games that I missed out on. So maybe a better way to describe myself isn't as someone who's new to gaming, but as somebody who missed out on a lot of games. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. And can you name every single game that you've ever played? Or can you count them? It's funny because it's probably more than you thought. Even this list was more than I had thought. Pre-writing the script and like really brainstorming for an entire day about everything I've ever played, I really thought it was going to be like 10 games, which to be fair, it probably is 10 games that I've played for more than 10 hours. But still, that's it. That's my gaming experience video. With this channel, I really just want to share the journey of me playing all of the games I missed out on, all of the games that everyone else has already played and already has nostalgia and love for. I do really love this hobby. I have always loved this hobby, and I hope you found the story of how I got into gaming and the games that I've played interesting. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.